Hello everybody, welcome to your daily pop of positivity. If you guys hear those little sounds in the background, it is a tantra flute that I have playing on one of my devices, and I just like it. It's very soothing and calming. And that brings us to today's read, medicine and purification. I definitely use the use of sound to free my mind of clutter. Of course, like everybody else, when I wake up, it creates a to-do list, and what really beautiful music does, it works like medicine for me, and it purifies my thought process too. Just what am I doing and feeling right now? And as soon as I put this on, and also when I started reading and dealing with my cards, was I could really come back inside my consciousness and my body and feel like, oh, am I hungry? Does this muscle need stretching? All of this. So by slowing down, we can really see, what it is that we need to feel better. I remember reading this thing this morning, and I loved it so much because it talked about, if we feel overwhelmed today or when we wake up, remember, we don't need to build some empire, be number one at anything to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. We don't need to earn our joy. We're allowed to live a lovely life, however that may look for you. For somebody in the hustle and bustle of New York and Wall Street and parties and all that, that might fill their cup and that might be their medicine for life. But for another person, and the older I get, the more I'm working towards a beautiful, gorgeous, all wood house with a huge deck on it and porch, and just sit out there drinking tea and coffee and watching the sunset. I like things that are slowed down and more natural. But whatever area you are in life right now, really have a discerning eye on what you really want, and not what you're kind of entranced to think is special and important, all this kind of glam crazy stuff on IG. What realistically soothes your soul, is your medicine, makes you feel good. For me, it's definitely nature, and it's music, and it's time with my family. Remember how yesterday I said I was going to go out and do things entirely different? In yesterday's video, I decided right when I was reading, I'm going to have an entirely different day. And I did. I went to a different post office in a different area of town. Then I was right by a Home Goods, and I thought, I'm just going to go and look in there. And they had some of the most amazing, huge crystals. And they had this drum, and I started to freak out because it's an amazing drum. I'm like, I need this drum. And it's a kind where you can sling it over your shoulder and bring it to the beach. And I'm definitely going to gift it to Joni and Freya, because that's totally their bag. But I just want to look at it for a couple of days. It's all beautiful, all these beautiful bright reds and blues. And I also found a collector's edition of Risk, which we all started playing a short while ago, and we have so much fun. But it's beautiful, and it's wood, and it's painted, and it was marked down from it was pretty costly. It was like $80 or something, and it was marked down to like $30. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I came in here. And then I went to the beach, and I just made a day of restful healing. And I had this moment, and I thought it was the craziest thing ever. I almost burst out crying in Whole Foods because my mother had a horse named Herman the German. Goodness knows why. But anyway, I remember her telling me the story, and it really sticking with me because it rhymed, and I was a kid, and I thought that was cool, and I love horses. But I was in line at Whole Foods, and I saw this bag of candy. It was these boiled Bulgarian hard candy sweets, and it said Herman the German. And right away, and I miss my mom so much. It just brought me back to those days of her funny stories of her animals on the peacock farm. And it was really amazing. I'd never really heard those words together again, or in years and years. And when I saw that, I just picked up the bag of candy, and I was looking at it. It was so wonderful. And that was sort of my medicine, reminding me that my mother's always around, helping me, guiding me, saying, good move today, doing things entirely different, and shaking up the scene and giving yourself a break from working all the time. And what is your medicine? I think you're going to definitely find it if you do things a little different, because if we're seeing the same things and operating the same way, we tend to behave the same way, right? We reach for the same foods, and we can't really discern. Like yesterday too, I ended up getting really healthful things. I got this green super food, some really great healthy snacks, coconut flakes and things like that, because food really is medicine. So just ask yourself, what am I putting in my poor bod? Can I purify it with more water, less salt, fat, so on and so forth? and really look after myself. And, you know, growth is growth. It doesn't matter, no matter how small. So you make one little thing, making happiness your priority, being gentle with yourself, being completely yourself. Stop waiting for, you know, Friday or summer or someone who thinks you're the bomb. Happiness is really, really achieved when we stop waiting for it and we just make the most of the moment we are in now. Like, really savor that cup of coffee, that excellent meal you're having, that conversation you're having with a friend. Be present. I do think misery is in wanting. I really do. And as humans, our ego is always wanting, and our mind makes us nuts. So it wants 1,000 things a day. Just go on any website and you're like, oh, I need that, I need that, I need that. We don't really need anything. We need food and water and oxygen, right? And love is pretty nice to have too. But when we think about it, if we really enjoyed the things that we already had and the people that are already around us and ourselves, you know, no one has an understanding of you like you. So let's get that beautiful mindset and really say, wow, how lucky I am I have a roof over my head and I can listen to this music or this podcast or this YouTube, whatever it is. Gratitude is medicine to a really wonderful degree for me too. Because as soon as I see or mention one thing that I'm grateful for, a flood of other things do. I'm so grateful for you guys, the fact that anybody listens to my YouTube. And that I get these lovely messages and I get to connect with you guys and I get insights every day. It is never like, I've never been bereft of channeling ideas and definitely not of cards since I have a million decks. But really, you guys understand, you don't have to chase anything. Everything that you want is going to attract you, and trust the next chapter. You know the author. You are filling that page with all the brilliance and love and excitement that you want. Try one little thing today, like I did yesterday. Just say, I'm going to go to a different post office. It brought me to a whole different shopping center, brought me on a straight road right back to the beach. Wonderful. And that way we see things with fresh eyes, and then we're not taking it for granted. So I love that for you guys. So that is your daily pop, love and light. I'm going to go upload.